Hi, I'm Sam Witte, and this is my Chapter 6 reflection for Tech and Society. Let's get started. Chapter 6 is about manufacturing and production, and manufacturing and production is a big part of society, I'd say. Um, Reading through this chapter and doing the workbook, watching these videos, trying to find articles on Wall Street Journal. Um, Kind of you learn a lot. And the first question Dr. or Mr. Rigler asked was to choose two manufacturing strategies described in the chapter. Describe the strengths and weaknesses of the two. So my first manufacturing strategy I chose was cellular manufacturing. Um, Manufacturing is more of a layout of how a manufacturing process works. It's using a layout to change the manufacturing game. Is what's going on. So, pretty much, cellular manufacturing is a type of it uses equipment in a layout to make manufacturing more profitable, quick, and agile. Um, uh, just time wise, there's not as much consumed. There's not as much time wasted compared to an assembly line type of manufacturing procedure. Cellular manufacturing, the parts are produced separately in what they call GT, which group technology. Um, they take these machines and to produce parts and specific parts, and these parts um, are manufactured in groups. Uh, Pertainability, I guess. So, like you might in a car factory, you might have the machines that make the tires and make all the rubber parts all in one section. You might have all of the machines that stamp out the sheet metal and all that stuff for the body parts, and you might have the stuff that twists the steel and steel to make the frame and stuff in another part, and then they all come together at the end to form the car. Um, when back in the day, it was the assembly line was kind of a slow process. You had to get this done before you could get this done. You had to get this done before you could get this done. This part had to be made before you could make this part. Whereas this, everything's being made at once, and then it all comes together, which is also nice because it takes away this inspection process for the most part. Um, you can have people inspecting individual parts uh, while in cellular manufacturing. Um, and to make the manufacturing process go quicker and to make your company or whatever you're doing manufacturing more money, and you can crank out more of what you're manufacturing. um, so that's kind of the good side of that. Like I said, strengths. I'm going to head to the weaknesses now. In cellular manufacturing, the thing is, it is kind of a new manufacturing process, so not many companies are utilizing it like they should. Toyota's utilizing it in their cars, so is Tesla in their factories. Uh, I don't know too many other big companies utilizing it. Um, it's a young system, so there's a lot to figure out, and there you can tweak it even more to make it more quicker and reliable, and you can do more with it than what's being done right now. So, being that it's so new, there's still a lot of adjustments and a lot of change that'll come with it to make this process even better than what it is. And I guess that's the weakness side of it. It's just it's new. People are still trying to figure it out. My next manufacturing process that I chose to analyze is lean and agile manufacturing, which they're two separate manufacturing processes, but I thought I'd join them together because they're so similar. So lean manufacturing focuses on the suppliers. They usually form a relationship with their suppliers, building long-lasting relationships using the same supplier. Whereas agility manufacturing focuses on the customer, and so they're going to be focused more on your custom products, is my guess. And so they're ever changing in the supply game, and they focus more on their customers. So customer satisfaction is one of their big things, I'd say. So lean manufacturing uses fewer resources, um, with more authority to the workers, which is great. I mean, I guess it saves the environment. You use less space, you use less resources in general in manufacturing goods or whatever you're manufacturing. But I guess a weakness to that is you get unions out of that. Workers come together. If your workers get so much authority, they all come together. You could go on strike, and then all of a sudden your business isn't making any money, and it could go under fairly quickly just because you gave your workers too much authority, if that's possible. I don't know. That's just kind of my thought process on it. As far as agile manufacturers, they are the fastest to market with the lowest cost, and able to meet the customer's requests faster. That's cool and everything, but I feel like they go through a lot of struggle. This is the weakness side. They go through a lot of struggle because they change suppliers so often to get what their customer needs. I feel like you're going to upset a lot of different suppliers, and some suppliers may not want to work with you just because you don't go through them as often, or they feel like they could help your company more than you think they are, but you're utilizing a different supplier for the same thing sometimes just because they do it faster. So it's kind of iffy as far as like you could be burning bridges with suppliers and stuff, but keeping the customers happy, which is a main point. So that's kind of the lean and agile. It's built for being quick, built for being low cost, but they're also two different manufacturing processes, but they're still a lot alike. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is this video Mr. Riggler had us watch. It is a TED Talk over manufacturing and production, and it kind of just explains about how technology is advancing, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's taking jobs. So a fun fact that he said in the video is the fraction of U.S. adults employed in the labor market is higher now than it was in the 1980s. 120 years ago, we had less people working than we do now. And he goes on to explain that because of technology, because of the boom of technology, it not only took jobs, but then again, it created other jobs for other people. Like he said, the man doing the TED Talk, used bank tellers as his example, so I'm going to follow through with that. Bank tellers with the ATMs, the automated teller machine, it cut a lot of jobs for bank tellers. The number of bank tellers went down, but because these banks are making so much money, they're able to open other chains in other cities, creating more jobs. So it boomed the bank business, creating more jobs for accountants and bank tellers in different cities, and cool thing about technology that he mentioned in this video is technology is ever growing, which and technology grows because of us, the people creating the technology. So it's kind of a human creativity, and it's kind of a mindset from the society of humans creating technology, that we have to stay creative, we have to keep moving forward in order to create more jobs and keep up with technology, because if we don't, the human race keeps growing, whereas our jobs aren't growing. So you create more technology, you may cut jobs in other places, but gain jobs in other places. And it also creates us to become more, as far as creativity, it makes us be more creative, and it makes us become more intelligent and further our knowledge of certain aspects. 120 years ago, there probably wasn't much in engineering as there is now, obviously. I mean, they didn't have computers or anything, and now we have computer engineers and all this other jazz, robotic engineers, and it created more through mathematics, engineering, science, all of the above. Pretty much your STEM grew tremendously in the last 20 years just through technology. So just the advancement of technology made us smarter. It forced us to get smarter. So I think that's cool. He also talked about how with technology and with the wealth we gain from technology, we need to learn how to use it wisely. Because I'm going to use another reference he used in the video. There are two countries, Saudi Arabia and Norway, both rich in oil money, but they're using it in different ways. Not only because of the politics between the countries, the politics difference, I should say, between countries. Norway's free democracy. Saudi Arabia is a dictatorship. So, I mean, that already changes things in general of how money is spent and wealth is passed around between places. So, Norway focuses on their people more, keeping them happy. They're usually ranked within the top 5 of the happiest countries in the world. So I thought that was kind of cool. And Norway is growing their colleges and growing the younger generation's intelligence and all of the above, like their community intelligence as a country. So they're throwing their money and wealth more into the intellectual side of things, whereas Saudi Arabia is not one of the happiest countries. It's ranked. He said it was ranked 33rd, but this video is a little old, so who knows where it's ranked now. And as far as the United States stands, to give you a point of view, the United States stands between 10 and 15 generally, is what I've researched and found. So, I mean, we're kind of right in the middle of like the happiest countries, and obviously there's a lot to not be happy about in the United States, but there also is a lot to be happy about compared to other countries such as Saudi Arabia. So, obviously there's a lot of growth and a lot of I guess we need to become wiser as the wealth grows, is what I was getting at. So that is the main thing, and that's the main thing I got out of the video and this chapter, and those are the questions I answered from Dr. Rigler. I do not have any Wall Street Journal articles because it was hard to, I couldn't find any. I typed in manufacturing and production, robot manufacturing, manufacturing in China, all this other junk, and I could not find any good articles on manufacturing, so might be docked for that, but it'll buff. Alright, thank you for joining me. This is Chapter 6 for Tech and Society over manufacturing and production. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.